Hello, one and all, to the Throw the Knife channel. Yeah, the autofocus is a bit screwy, but mekk-knight invoked. I've wanted to do this particular deck profile for a while, but there was one card I couldn't afford for a while, so I had to wait to make this. But now I've finally got everything I need. Invoke mekk-knights. Woo! Again, before everyone thinks, oh, this is going to be a professional build, I'm going to get a build that I can use in a tournament online or whatever. No, you're not. Don't go by my build. So they wouldn't have seen my previous videos, but do not use my decks in a professional sense unless you're willing to lose, because they're good, they're fun, and they'll be good in a casual match, but don't expect to go against stuff like Eldlick and win. Like, you're not going to. Anyway, first we have our free mekk-knight Blue Sky, our free mekk-knight Purple Nightfall, and our free mekk-knight Indigos. Now, the reason I've put all of these together is the sheer fact of, if you're playing mekk-knights, you kind of want 3 of all of these, because there's 2 searchers and then the main mekk-knight you use because it can move position. So, you know, it is a very good deck. But you do need to run those 3 at 3, so that's already like a quarter of the deck, just for that particular part of the combo. Next, we've got our mekk-knight Red Moon and our mekk-knight Yellow Stars. Reason I put these together is because that's your spell trap and monster removal. Reason being is, obviously, it's a very easy way to just yeet that onto one particular part and go, lol, I use the Yellow Stars effect to banish a mekk-knight and destroy a spell and trap. Or do the same with Red Moon. And then they're basically just link fodder at that point, which, to be fair, this deck does need a fair bit of link fodder, so it's nice to have these other mekk-knights. And also the sheer fact of you can only use special summon and use each mekk-knight's effect once per turn. So you can't like get 2 blue skies out at the same time. So it's good to have multiple mekk-knights to spam the board with. Next, I have 1 green horizon for the sheer fact of, as I said, link fodder. Literally no other reason I'm running it other than maybe its attack effect, but to be fair, it's mostly link fodder. I never attack with it. It's more just to link it away. Next, we're going into the invoked engine, and oh, these are beautiful. Premium gold rare as to the invokers. Oh, I love premium gold rare because if you don't know, it's sort of like a ultimate rare that's golden. And as everyone who knows me and my channel, I love my ultimate rares, I love my gold rares. In fact, gold rares I would say are like a very close second in my opinion when it comes to rarities. So having a mix of both, it's beautiful. Beautiful. To the point you'll see another premium gold rare in the extra, which is really nice. Next, we have our 2 Ash Blossoms. Reason I'm running 2 Ash Blossoms is A, so I can go into Purgatrio fairly effectively, and B, it's a hand trap. It's always nice to disrupt your opponent's plays during their turn, so double Ash Blossom is quite nice. I would do triple Ash Blossom, but I don't know what I'd take out personally. Just because obviously this deck runs a certain way for the fun factor. I mean, obviously if I wanted to really go into 3, I could have just taken out the green horizon or like a yellow or a red. Next we've got our terraforming with our 3 magical meltdowns. So magical meltdown, if you don't know what it does, is basically a search for Alistair, and then you can do all your invoked plays. So terraforming is to search out the magical meltdown very clearly. So it's also another very good play, that. So yeah, it's, to be fair, if you don't run 3 magical thingies and then a terraforming, magical meltdowns, not magical thing. Oh my god, my brain. But yeah, if you don't run 3 magical meltdowns and a terraforming to search it, you're kind of asking for trouble, because a lot of this deck would die to Ash if you didn't bait out the Ash to begin with. So what you do is you use the terraforming to search a magical meltdown while you already have one in hand. If they don't negate that, then you would activate a magical meltdown. They would probably negate that. But if they don't and they wait until you get your Alistair out and then try to negate that, that's also quite bad. So you also want to do the terraforming to try to get them to stop the search early. Next we have our 3 invocations. It's an invoked deck. You want your 3 invocations. I mean, you could be running 2, I guess, because obviously Alistair searches it and it's recyclable, but your opponent could easily just like get rid of it from the grave or negate it. Negate it's like going back to deck effect. So it's quite nice to have the 3 just in case, but obviously if you want to run less, you can. Talking of running less, I only run 2 Book of Lore because one is for the OTK and then the other is to like get a negate out while the opponent's thinks there's no negate. So like I'll have, I don't know, Purgatrio because I've used it with Ash Blossom. I'd have Book of Lore face down, they wouldn't realise. They'll do all their plays, I'll Book of Lore, go into Mekk-knights, and then I can negate a monster or a spell. Or a trap. Unlikely I'll have a trap in hand though, because you only run a few in here. But yeah, you'll be able to negate like a monster or a spell. 3 World Legacy Key. It's a continuous spell, so it's really good for getting the mekk-knights out. And also it's like a negate what in a column that a mekk-knight's in, so it's always nice. Plus it's good as a discard for the mekk-knight link. Next we have our World Legacy Successions at 3. It's searchable off the mekk-knight link, and it's basically a Monster Reborn for a link deck, which this is half link, half fusion, so yeah, it kind of uses up all of it. It's quite nice. Then we have our World Legacy Secret and our World Legacy Whispers, again, to face down to get the mekk-knights out easily. A Mekk-knights discard effect is why I'm running 2, so I can have 1 on field and 1 to discard from Mekk-knights. And they're the exact same as Key in the sense of if if a mekk-knight's in the same column as a spell or a trap, a spell or a monster, I think it is, then you can negate it, which is quite nice. So that's the main deck. Again, don't take this to a tournament if you want to win, because it's not going to happen. Next we have our invoked Caliga, our invoked Elysium, our invoked Mag, our triple Mekk-knights, because, you know, it is like the main boss monster of the deck, plus our entire main deck is light, so it makes sense to put 3 Mekk-knights in. So basically, Caliga is, in case they're running a dark deck, and it's a very special summon heavy dark deck, like a Dark World or a Danger deck, you can just go into Caliga, negate all their summons in a sense, or it's more like a sort of control-y feel you can have, and then like next turn you can get rid of it with like a Book of Lore or something. So it's just like a little quick control, which is quite nice. You've got the Elysium, which, I mean, you can run the newest invoked instead of that, but I personally run Elysium for the sheer fact of its attack power. It can beat over a lot of stuff that are unaffected by card effects. Especially if you use the effect of Alistair on Elysium to up its attack. So that's sort of the main reason I'm running Elysium, plus its effect is not bad, because it can basically turn an opponent's monster into a certain type, and then you can fuse with that, which is quite nice. Next we have our Purgatrios at 2. Reason I'm running 2 Purgatrios is A, I've only got 2 Ash, and 2, I can book a lore into it and whatnot, so it is easily accessible, but again, like Maginancia, it only has really 1 reason to ever be brought out, which is to clear a field. It's not like a nuke, but it's a very good attack over multiple things, get rid of them, all their monsters are gone, go into Maginancia and attack. But again, it's not that. And then finally for the invokes, we have our Raging. Now, the reason I'm running a Raging and not like multiple, and plus also why I'm running it at all, is the sheer fact of basically its effect is really good. I'm not running an instant fusion to get it out because that's pointless. What I'm sort of hoping for is my opponent runs a wind monster that I can go into Raging, or I Book of Lore into it, which is unlikely, but I have it there as an option to basically just screw over my opponent, which is quite nice. So that's the invoked part of it. And if you didn't notice, and I'm quite happy about it, is the entire fusion section of the extra deck is in alphabetical order, because it doesn't really matter what order it's in, because obviously if you're going into an invoked, you just go into the entire invoked thing. There's not really a particular one you always want to go into, well, other than Mekk-knights. Next, we go into the extra. 1 Salamangreat Almirage. Reason being is you normal summon Alistair, set a card beneath him, link him into Almirage. So the card you set could probably even be the invoked you searched. And then Almirage is above the set card that you put. And then you can go into a mekk-knight in that particular zone and link into 2. Do all your mekk-knight plays after that, because you've given yourself a way to go into mekk-knights, which is quite nice. So can't go wrong with that. Next, we have the card that basically delayed this entire deck profile. Our singular Alistair Invoker of Madness. I can understand if you want to run 2, and there probably is a card in here you'll probably get rid of to run 2, like maybe the Raging. But I like only running it at 1 because I only really use its effect once, which is basically you fusion summon while this is on the board, you discard a card to then search out a Book of Lore to then go into the additional fusions after and whatnot. But that's really it. Other than like it being an Alistair, so you can use an invocation on this to go into an additional invoked, I guess. There's not really much I want to do with it other than that. I mean, it's still essential to the deck to run at 1, so you can search out the Book of Lore. But that's about it. It's not really much I run it for. So, for that reason, I only run the 1, even though I've got multiple now. Next, we have the Mekk-Knight of the Morning Stars. Basically, this is the mekk-knight that you go into most of the time. It has a discard effect to search out like a World Legacy card or invoked, if I remember correctly, or is it just World? I think it's just World Legacy. So you can search out your Monster Reborn, that is Succession. You can search out a key if you've got the other 2 traps and you just want to have a full negate board. It's quite nice. Plus, also it gets rid of like a troublesome card that you can't get rid of, like the Almirage. Like, cause if you have Almirage on the board, other than tributing it, there's not much you can do with it. So it's quite nice to have the Morning Star. So you literally get a mekk-knight out, link the Salamangreat with that, and you go straight into that. We have our mekk-knight Spectrum Supreme as our final mekk-knight link, for the sheer fact of you only really need the 1. It has a nice summon effect from deck. It has a nice direct attack effect and a nice non-effect effect, but it's, again, you only really want to go into the 1. So that's my personal reasoning. Again, my reasoning could be completely different to your own, and that's fine. Obviously, I'm just saying don't play this in a tournament for the reasons of my reasonings might be wrong. In fact, they're most likely wrong. And finally, Premium Gold Rare Appaloosa. Now, I do have a Secret Rare Appaloosa, which I'll probably be selling, because as much as people are going to hate me for it, I prefer this one. I mean, I'm not 100% sure I like the alt art, but an ultimate gold rare, basically, of Appaloosa is, it's beautiful. I love that card so much. And I love the rarities. It's such a good rarity. So, with that, we have our invoked mekk-knights. So technically we do have a win to go to Rajin now I think about it, but unless it's in the graveyard already, you have no reason to fuse Rappaloosa away for a fucking Rajin, alright? It's like the worst thing you can do. But yeah, no, hope you guys enjoyed. Again, don't take this as a definitive build. I must play this in the tournament and win. Hi. Like, you're going to probably lose most of your games. This is more of a deck for like casual play, going to like mini locals. Like obviously not at the moment because of COVID, but like through Discord or whatever. But yeah, it's a really fun deck. It's a really fun build. And I'm so happy I finally got the last few cards I needed to be able to show you my particular build. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. And I will see you guys next time.